My people, when Mr. Williams finally uncovered the painful truth about Danielle and her secret friendship with Favour, the storm had only just begun. The rain poured that night like heaven itself was angry. The streets shimmered under flickering streetlights, and the church corner that had always been a place of warmth for Favour and Danielle now felt cold and exposed. When Mr. Williams stepped forward, his figure loomed like a giant, his face twisted with rage. Danielle froze. "Daddy," she whispered, her voice trembling. Favour, barefoot and soaked, instinctively stepped in front of Danielle as though her small frame could shield her. "Please, sir, don't hurt her," she pleaded, her voice breaking. Mr. Williams' laughter cut through the rain like thunder. "Look at you, defending her, you little rat. Do you know who I am?" Favour met his eyes. "I know who you are. You're her father. But tonight, you're also the reason she cries." For a moment, silence hung between them, broken only by the storm. Then Mr. Williams grabbed Danielle by the wrist, yanking her away. "This ends now," he roared, dragging her toward his waiting car. "Danielle!" Favour screamed, running after them. But the guards shoved her back into the mud. She collapsed, her chest heaving, as the car sped away with her only friend inside. Back at the mansion, Danielle was locked in her room. The heavy wooden doors sealed shut, the windows barred. Guards patrolled outside like she was a prisoner rather than a daughter. She sat by the window, staring into the night. In her hand, she clutched the pen Favour had once given her. Her tears stained her pillow as she whispered into the darkness, "Favour, don't give up on me. Please." Meanwhile, Mr. Williams sat in his study, a glass of brandy in his hand. His pride burned hotter than the alcohol. "Imagine, my daughter depending on a street beggar. If the world knew, they would laugh at me. No, I'll make sure this girl disappears." But deep in his heart, though he would never admit it, something unsettled him. Danielle's transformation, her brilliance, her newfound confidence, it had all come from that same street girl he despised. The next morning, Mr. Williams summoned Favour through the police. She was dragged before him in the mansion courtyard, her clothes still damp from the storm. "Listen well, girl," he spat, pacing in front of her. "You are never to see my daughter again. If you try, I will make sure you and your kind are cleared off these streets forever. Do you understand?" Favour lifted her chin. "I understand, sir. But let me tell you this. Your money may buy fear, but it cannot buy Danielle's happiness. And it cannot buy her future. You may separate us, but you cannot erase what I've given her." Her words stung like whips, but Mr. Williams only sneered. "Take her away." The guards shoved her through the gates. Favour stumbled, but she did not cry. She held her pride like armor. Inside, however, her heart broke into pieces. Days turned into weeks. Danielle grew weaker, her bright eyes dimming under the weight of her father's control. At school she still excelled, but her laughter was gone. Teachers praised her brilliance, unaware that the fire that fueled her had been stolen from her arms. Favour, meanwhile, became a legend on the streets. Other children gathered around her every night, calling her teacher. She showed them how to write their names, how to add numbers, how to read signs. The knowledge she had once given Danielle now spread like wildfire among those who had nothing. "Why do you still teach us?" one boy asked. "You've lost your only rich friend." Favour smiled sadly. "Because education isn't just for one person. It's for everyone. And maybe, one day it will bring Danielle back to me." Desperate, Danielle found a way to smuggle a note through the mansion walls. She bribed a sympathetic maid, who slipped the folded paper into a loaf of bread sold at the junction. That evening, as Favour shared her small meal with the children, the note fell into her lap. With trembling hands, she unfolded it. "Favour, they've locked me away. My father doesn't understand. I feel like I'm dying without our friendship. But I remember every lesson, every word you gave me. Hold on. I will find you again. Danielle." Favour clutched the letter to her chest, tears finally spilling. "She hasn't forgotten me," she whispered. And for the first time since the separation, hope returned. Mrs. Williams, Danielle's mother, noticed the change in her daughter. She was paler, quieter, more fragile. One evening, she confronted her husband. "Richard, can't you see? She's withering. She needs that girl." Mr. Williams slammed his glass on the table. "Are you insane? Do you want the world to mock us? My daughter, educated by a street beggar. But she's happy with her," Mrs. Williams argued softly. "And happiness is something your money hasn't been able to buy." For the first time, cracks appeared in the marble wall of Mr. Williams' pride. But he pushed the thought away, burying it under anger. One night, Favour overheard a group of policemen at the junction. They spoke of Mr. Williams bribing officials to clean the streets of hawkers. Fear spread among the children. "They'll drive us away. Where will we go?" Favour clenched her fists. She knew this was his way of cutting her off from Danielle forever. But something inside her refused to surrender. She began to plan. "If they scatter us, I will still find Danielle. Even if I have to walk to the ends of the city." The mansion gates felt like iron bars around Danielle's soul. But one night, as the guards dozed off, the sympathetic maid returned. "Miss Danielle," she whispered. "If you truly want to see her, I can help you escape. But it is dangerous." Danielle's heart raced. She thought of Favour's letter, of her promise never to give up. "Take me," she said firmly. Clutching only a shawl and the pen Favour had once given her, Danielle slipped into the night. The city was alive with chaos. Hawkers ran as police trucks stormed the junction, chasing children away. Groundnut trays clattered, shouts filled the air. Through the madness, Danielle searched desperately. "Favour! Favour!" she screamed, her voice breaking. And then, through the smoke and sirens, Favour appeared, dragging two younger children to safety. Their eyes met, this time not in chance but in destiny. They ran into each other's arms, clinging tightly as if to prove the world could not tear them apart. "You came back," Favour whispered. "I told you," Danielle replied, her tears mixing with the dirt on Favour's cheek. "I will always find you." But happiness was brief. Mr. Williams, alerted by the guards, arrived in fury. He stormed into the chaos, his expensive suit drenched with rain. "Danielle," he roared, pulling her away. "You shame me again." This time Danielle did not cower. She stood tall, even as tears streaked her face. "Father, I am not ashamed." "You should be. Because a girl you call worthless gave me what you never could, hope." The crowd gasped. Even the policeman paused. Mr. Williams' face turned pale. For the first time, the billionaire was speechless. That night, Mr. Williams sat alone in his mansion study. Danielle's words echoed in his mind. "She gave me what you never could, hope." He poured himself another drink, but it tasted bitter. He remembered his own childhood, the poverty he had escaped, the pride that had built his empire. Was he any different from Favour once? For the first time, guilt gnawed at him. The next morning, Mr. Williams made a decision that shocked everyone. He called Favour to the mansion. The guards, confused, obeyed. When Favour stood before him, barefoot yet unbroken, he said slowly, "You changed my daughter's life. And though my pride hates to admit it, you may change mine too." Danielle gasped, rushing forward to hug Favour. Mr. Williams continued, "From today, you will have a place in school. I will sponsor not only you but every child you have been teaching. Your gift will not be wasted." Favour's eyes widened. She dropped to her knees, not in weakness, but in gratitude. "Thank you, sir. Not for me, but for them." Months passed and everything changed. Danielle blossomed, no longer lonely, no longer failing. She and Favour sat side by side in a real classroom, their laughter filling the air. The other children from the junction, once forgotten, now wore uniforms too. At the mansion, Mrs. Williams smiled more, and even Mr. Williams walked lighter, his pride tempered by humility. And at night, when the girls sat under the same stars that once separated them, Favour would whisper, We are proof that friendship can rewrite destiny." Danielle would squeeze her hand and reply, "Nothing could ever be the same." The two girls, one born into the streets, the other into wealth, had defied the walls between them. Together they built a bridge not just for themselves, but for everyone who believed that hope could rise from anywhere. My people, did you see how hope defeated pride? A street girl and a billionaire's daughter, two worlds apart, yet destiny brought them together. Their story shows us that education and friendship can change even the hardest of hearts. But life has many more twists. Should we stop here, or continue into what the future holds for Favour and Danielle? To find out, subscribe to The Gracious Voice so you don't miss the next powerful story. Fire the end.